They're delightful. I think they should have their own spin-off. I think we should just see like a little like holiday special of Darius and Orion in a cabin in the woods, cutting down a Christmas tree and buying each other gifts. That's what I want. That's the dream. Hello and welcome back to Goblin Literature, a channel where we discuss long fantasy series as we read them. Right now we are reading the Zodiac Academy, and this video will be covering Book 2, Ruthless Fae, chapters 26 through the end of the book. That is a big chunk of chapters. They went super fast, in my opinion, so I flew through them. And now I'm recording this video to discuss what happened because there was a lot. To kick us off, we had the revenge plot kind of all coming together for Darcy and Tori. We had the Pitball match. We had a huge battle. I should have led with this. There will be spoilers for everything through the end of book 2. So, I just want to mention I am following That Girl Reads reading order. I think her name is Jamie. I will tag her in the description or the comments. Right now we're on book 2, so it's not like a very complicated situation, but once we get past book 3, I think that's when we read the prequel. I have a whole list in an Excel document because I have lost my mind. Which is part of the reason I'm making these videos. I'm basically an insane person now, and that's what I do. When I feel insane, I make a spreadsheet. So, jumping in, we have Max. Immediately his uniform gets covered in griffin poop. Love that. Hilarious. Max has sensitive skin. Who doesn't? We all have, either an upset tummy, a headache, or sensitive skin, or a combination of the three. And Max is just one of these sensitive skin people. He gets his uniform covered in griffin poop by Darcy and Tori. Love that for him. So he obviously then breaks out in a horrible, hilarious rash during the Pitball match. I love that Geraldine is really in on all of this and helping the girls get revenge. Geraldine is a real one. She has become one of my favorite characters. At first I thought she was super annoying and, as the children say, cringe. Because there is a lot about these books that are cringe, and I've decided to accept that and lean into it. I feel like as I go on, it's getting less and less annoying. So I'm really into Geraldine. She's great. She's super cool. So also Tori sets Milton up as she frames him for stealing all the gold through a very crafty plan. I feel like some of these revenge plots were not that crafty, and some of them were pretty crafty, like covering Max's uniform in griffin poop. Not super crafty, but effective. Framing Milton for stealing all the stuff from Darius's room, much more clever and labor intensive. There is a multi-step plan going on here. She planted gold in his room. She planted gold in Darius's room. She gave him a love letter. She got him to wear the jewelry. Very creative, foolproof plan, really. So Darius realizes that Milton has his stuff and shuns him forever, which I feel like is more serious for Fae than humans because, we are not quite as dramatic, or maybe more dramatic. We're dramatic in different ways. After that, they go to the Pitball match. Pitball, I thought was going to be kind of stupid, but I was kind of into it. It was very complicated, but I really like Sophia breaking down all the rules. She seems pretty cool. And then Darcy and Tori had to sit next to the heirs' families. Awkward. So there was a lot of points of view from the heirs, which was great because you could really see how shaken they were with some of the really dumb stuff that Darcy and Tori did to them. The whole Caleb is obsessed with Pegasuses. hilarious because it's so ridiculous. It's just like dumb boy stuff. Like, who cares if you love a Pegasus? Like, they're cute. Like, I don't understand the problem. But obviously, it's a problem, and Caleb can't just brush it off because he's like a dummy. He's like dramatic again, dramatic. So the pitball match, high energy, high intensity. We're finding out the rules. You can't drop the ball. They can only hold it for so long. It might explode. They can't drop it when it's exploding. Yikes. Like, we definitely want them to not explode, probably. I mean, maybe we do. Maybe they could explode. It'd be fine. The heirs are a disaster. Geraldine's the only good person on the entire team. So that's hilarious and great because like I said, Geraldine is like a real one. She's killing it out here. She's helping she's helping Tori and Darcy defeat the heirs, and she's funny while she's doing it. Also, this whole time I was envisioning Geraldine as like this little, weak, kind of not big person. I don't know if she's ever described like her physical attributes, but after reading the end of this book, I feel like Geraldine is massive and like jacked. She's built like Rhea Ripley, I assume. So I'm really into it. Because who doesn't love a super jacked nerd that can like whoop everyone's ass? So I love Geraldine, kind of obsessed with Geraldine at this point. During the game, Washer shows up and is being all cryptic and weird and saying there's gonna be death and terror and blah blah blah. And like, as soon as he says that, it's like, duh, like obviously some shit's about to go down. So, Principal Nova, who seems kind of like an idiot, is like, Washer, leave us alone. And he's like, okay, but it seems like an emergency. And you're like, probably an emergency. So the game ends. They open up the roof for some reason, because I guess this is like a Superdome. And, the nymphs attack. How did they get there? I don't know. Where do they come from? I don't know. Why doesn't the school have any goddamn protections in place? Like, what's the deal? We may never know the answers to these questions because it seems like no one's telling us. Oh, and obviously important fact that just kind of I feel like got glossed over because it happened so quickly and then was over and then everyone was over it, is that the like heirs and Tori and Darcy kind of got into a little argument about oh, we're gonna take the throne, ha ha ha, just to like piss him off. And then the heirs got all pissed off and they like blasted Tori and Darcy like into the pit, and then all of a sudden the freaking nymphs were attacking and you're like, whoops. And then they like disintegrated the shield. I thought they were just gonna be like stuck in there. I don't know. I was like, oh, this is weird. And then all of a sudden the nymphs show up and I'm like, oh shit, the nymphs, yikes. So they obviously escape the pit. There's a huge battle scene. I'm never good at understanding what's going on in a battle scene because they're like, this person's leg is up here and down here and their arms are flying around and they're shooting and they're stabbing and they're blasting, and I'm like, I'm lost. I just am lost. But that's because my brain can't follow what's going on. So I just imagine like explosions, emergency, people are bleeding. It's effective. So all of a sudden they're free. They're over getting attacked by the heirs. Everyone's on the same team, which I mean that's exactly how that type of thing goes. It's like you fight with your friends or siblings and then someone attacks them and you kill everyone. Like, these people are like overall on the same team, so I feel like that's like how it's gonna go down. So I didn't think that was unrealistic. And then Tori and Darius are kind of fighting together, and Orion and Darcy are kind of fighting together, and Darius gets like attacked by the nymphs, and they're telling Tori and Darcy like, oh my god, go back home, you guys don't know what you're doing, because they don't. But they had this super duper blue and red fire flames. which is something that I feel like is important, but I don't know why. Like, we've heard about, like, obviously this is a clue about what order they're in. The problem is, I don't know what order blasts blue and red fire, so that doesn't help me at all. It's definitely a clue, but I am clueless. So here we are. Maybe we'll find out one day. As you know, if you've been watching, this is on my nerves. I want to know what their order is, or I want some sort of foreshadowing. This is our first good clue, and it's not a good clue is the problem, because we know about like a bunch of orders. We have like a bazillion of them, but we don't know any of them that explicitly blast blue and red fire. My only theory is maybe they're like a super new order, but like, is that possible to be a new order? Who knows? I feel like there's going to be some big reveal. Maybe in like 9 more books. I don't know, but I want to know the big reveal. I'm excited for it. I'm anticipating the big reveal. So, Darius almost gets killed. Ashanti, who is a werewolf, does get killed. We don't really know a lot about her. It's like not that upsetting. I was told by Jamie from That Girl Reads, this is the most emotionally devastating order to read them in. So far, end of book 2, not really emotionally devastating yet, but I assume we will get there, because we're just getting to know these people. They're becoming our friends. We're getting friendly with them. We're like, okay. Like Geraldine, if she died, I'd be upset. Everyone else so far, don't really care. Obviously, I think it would be on not great if Tori or Darcy died, or probably one of the heirs or Orion. I assume down the road maybe one of these people will die, but I'm not like obsessed with any of them yet. They're all like fine. They're fine characters. Darius is growing on me a little bit. I feel like he's in love with Tori, and I'm here for it. And I'm interested to see the dynamics, because his best friend is banging her, and that's like a little awkward of a dynamic. So we'll see how that unravels. Could be controversial. So I'm here for that storyline. So Darius almost dies. Orion revives him, of course, because those two little weirdos are besties, the best of besties. The dynamic duo, Darius and Orion, they're more of a dynamic duo than Tori and Darcy, really. Because of the bond. It's cute. I like it. Maybe some people think it's cringe. I think it's cute. I think that these two massive dudes being like obsessed with each other is great. I'm all for it. Super pro bond. So I think I mentioned before, maybe they'll like get out of the bond. I feel like it does create some like interesting ideas down the road. Because there's something going on with Orion and Darcy, but Orion's loyal to Darius because of the bond, but Darcy's claim to the throne is a conflict of that. And then Darius is in love with Tori. Like, there's a lot of messiness ahead. Messiness. I'm excited for the messiness. So that's where we're at, the nymphs retreat, and the book basically ends by Orion saying, "This is war," like very dramatic, because it's Orion. I feel like he's like a brooding, dramatic dude. So that's where we're at with the plot. I want to start the next book. Like, I need to know how the school is going to deal with this like psychotic event, like this traumatizing, horrific attack. You would think, I would think that like, I don't know, they're going to like, they probably don't shut the school down, or the books wouldn't be called Zodiac Academy. It would be called like Zodiac Academy for a minute, and then everyone's sent home because of emergencies, which isn't what it's called. So it's they're not gonna shut the school down. They're just gonna, I don't know, put extra precautions in place, which they already supposedly did. It seems like these people are either stupid or they're not as strong as they think. At least Principal Nova, like, what is she even doing? She seems, well, like, basically any school administrator. Not any, some of them are good, but sometimes they just don't know what's going on. Maybe she's just not that powerful. Maybe, I don't know. Orion seems pretty powerful. Some of the teachers seem powerful. Actually, no, they don't. Really, only Orion seems powerful. Astrum seemed kind of good at the tarot thing. Maybe the teachers are all weak. And that's the problem. But you'd think that, like, the heir's parents would, like, they're powerful and the heirs are powerful. They have an interest in keeping the school safe because their kids are there. Solaria in general has an interest in keeping the school safe because their future leaders are there. So why can't they keep the frickin' school safe? What are these idiots doing? They can't put up like a pew 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 little shieldy shield. Like, what's going on? Lock it up. Lock it up. They can't. It's unlocked, clearly. So the awards for these specific chapters, number 1, you could guess, they gave this award out in the book too, so I didn't even have to come up with this. Fae of the Match. However, I would like to apply it to Fae of the Chapters. These chapters, Geraldine. Geraldine is the best character. She's killing it. She's funny. She's a nerd. She is muscular. She is a baddie. She can beat the shit out of anyone. She's just out here. She's a Cerberus. I thought she was going to be something like lame, and then she's a Cerberus? Damn, girl. Kill it. So, we love that. And then we've got the dynamic duo of these chapters, which again, not Tori and Darcy, Orion and Darius. They are the ultimate dynamic duo. They're growing on me. They continue to grow on me. They're hilarious, and they're like a little bit, you know, it's a bromance. The bromance of this episode, Darius and Orion, for sure. No question. They're delightful. I think they should have their own spin-off. I think we should just see like a little like holiday special of Darius and Orion in a cabin in the woods, cutting down a Christmas tree and buying each other gifts. That's what I want. That's the dream. Up next, we have what's going on with Darius and Tori. What are they up to? I mean, we know what they're up to, but like, are they gonna make out? Soon, I hope. Seems like it. And like, how is that going to impact the Caleb situation? Getting Darius's point of view, seems like he's just like blatantly in love with Tori, and Tori's kind of oblivious. She feels some sexual tension, which, you know, if you're me, you just hallucinate sexual tension all the time because you work from home and you have no concept of reality. But in this scenario, Tori's in real life. She's out here doing stuff. She's having activities with a lot of hotties. So, you'd think she'd pick up on it. But it seems like Tori and Darcy are maybe super hot because everyone has, all these hot dudes have crushes on them, and the dudes are hot, so everyone has crushes on them. And I don't know what the dynamic would be because I'm not super hot, so how would I know what it's like for everyone to just have a crush on me? I don't know. But it seems like maybe Tori, Darcy, and basically everyone in this entire book would have maybe some perspective on that. And if they could share it just so I have a better idea of what that life is like, that would be great. Or I guess you could just watch Love Island, which I refuse to do, based on principle. But I did see a meme today that said, if you like the Zodiac Academy, that means that you probably would like Love Island. And I can't say they're wrong because I refuse to watch Love Island, so I wouldn't know. But maybe one day I will. But there's so many books in this series that I probably will never have time to watch 6 hours of TV a week. But maybe I could. So next up, as I've already mentioned, what's the order of these girls? What's their order? I'll keep saying it every episode of this series. What's their order? Who has blue and red fire? I don't freaking know. Nobody's told us this information. I guess, a little hint. A little small hint. I don't want it to be obvious, but a little small hint. I feel like it's a fine line when you're writing between, like, giving a little hint and just giving the whole plot away. Like, I need a little hint. I want to have, like, set me up with a couple options. Set me up with, like, a few things. Don't, like, just foreshadow the one thing and that's it. Give me a few things that maybe could lead me in the right direction and a few things that could maybe lead me in the wrong direction. Some, like, thriller mystery books do a good job with that, where they, like, have a red herring and, like, oh, you're gonna think it's this person's the bad guy, but it's really this person. Like, they do a good job with that. I have zero ideas about their order. Something that has red and blue fire, which I have no idea about. Nobody's ever told us anything about red and blue fire. Obviously, dragons breathe fire. But that doesn't help me at all. So, the last thing, as I kind of already said, what's going on with the war? They're at war. What do you do in times of war? Is there a draft? I assume not. But maybe. Probably not. That's just the first thing that came to my mind when I said, what do you do at times of war? A draft. Draft someone. But I doubt they have a draft for this type of war. I don't know. The other thing I think that they've mentioned that never really seems to become a problem, but wasn't mentioned again in these fight scenes, is that the nymphs can take on the bodies of Fae. I feel like that would come up more. Maybe it will come up more later. I feel like that's a little foreshadowing of something, because they are just, like, out here hiding in plain sight. You would think they'd be doing that a lot. You would think that would be, like, something that's going on that's important. But so far that hasn't really come up. Other than the fact that I think it was, like, Caleb or someone, one of the girls saw them fighting Fae, and they're like, why are they fighting ourselves? And then they're like, oh, those must be, like, nymphs disguised as Fae. But you would think that, like, something would be going on there. I don't know. So that's what we have up next. I am excited to dive into book 3 because we've got a lot of things that just happened, obviously. I'm also nervous about book 3 because after book 3, we go to the prequel series. I don't have my spreadsheet in front of me, but I have a list of all of the books. I think it's the Boys of the, I don't know, Ruthless, I'll figure it out. But Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, I think that's what it's called. I knew it was in my brain. I just had to find it and then get it and give it to you. So, Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac. I think that's 5 books. I looked at those books and I think they're long as hell. I'm nervous, first of all, that the 3rd book is going to have a cliffhanger and I'm going to have to read 5 massive books between now and getting to the 4th book. So that's why I'm nervous about the 3rd book. Also, the way it was explained is that, like, if you read the prequel first, there's things you find out in the prequel that will make the things in the first 3 books not a surprise. But so you read the first 3 books and then you go read the prequel, and that causes the most, like, emotional damage because the way the order of events makes it work that way. I haven't read them, so I have no clue the context of that. But that's my understanding, and that's why you read the 3 books, then the Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac or whatever, and then come back to book 4. So I'm nervous about that transition. I'm nervous that some shit is about to go down because of this description. So there will obviously be more on that as we get through those books. And I'm nervous about kind of, like, forgetting what happened in books 1 through 3 before I get to book 4, because these are, like, thick boy books. So, like 900 page books, I think, from what I recall by briefly reviewing them. So I might be wrong. but I'm pretty sure all of these books are pretty significant. So, but I'm taking notes specifically for these videos so that we can review what went down and make predictions and discuss how everyone's nuts. So that will hopefully help me. And then obviously you can rewatch these videos if you need a reminder too when we do that jump. But that's not happening yet. It's just prepare thyself for this. So that's what's coming. Let me know what you think so far of the characters, of the reading order, of what's about to go down. If you want to keep on keeping on in this reading adventure, definitely like subscribe to this to this channel so that you can get notifications when we are posting new videos and when things are continuing forward. Until then, keep reading and keep letting me know your opinions, who you like, who you don't like, what you think is going to happen, if you have any thoughts on their order, and we can all discuss in our little book club comment section. And until then, happy reading.